Hey guys, and welcome to another Lolcow update video. I thought from now on it would probably be a good idea to do these every 4 months or so in order to collate a good amount of information on the majority of the people I've made videos on, so that it's actually something substantial and not just something that I've quickly thrown together for video creation's sake. As well as obviously, keeping you updated on the most important or interesting things that has happened to some of the people that I've covered on this channel. Now, to reiterate, these videos strictly cover the people that I have covered myself on this channel, and despite the name, not everyone mentioned is actually a Lolcow, as I don't think everyone that I have covered so far is actually deserving of that title. If there is anything you think I have missed that deserves a mention, please let me know in the comments to allow me to at least rectify it slightly. But that's enough waffling on, let's actually start looking into some people. Let's start it off with the big one that you've obviously all likely heard of by now, with Chris Chan. On March the 27th, it was found out that Chris had been released from jail, which has obviously been the biggest thing of note since he had been sent to jail on that infamous day on the 1st of August 2021. It had been initially noted that Chris had been bonded out, leading me and multiple other people to believe that perhaps some weens had managed to bail Chris out, as, he doesn't really have anyone on his side at the moment to do this as an honest action. However, a couple hours later, the records were updated to accurately state that Chris had been released on court order. From this whole situation, we've actually managed to gather very minimal information, other than the whole bombshell of him being released from jail, of course, but we do have a recent photo of him looking a lot thinner, which is to be expected after being in jail for over a year and a half and not being able to eat McDonald's. So at least we know that he's a lot healthier physically. Mentally, however, not so much. So where is he? I don't know. I don't think anyone but Chris really has the answer. He's not allowed near Barbara, and like I've previously said, he doesn't really have anyone on his side. I actually kind of suspect Chris to be completely fine. He's basically invulnerable to any real bad consequences, as well as good advice. So what happens to Chris from now on? No idea. I suspect we'll see soon enough, and all probably get whiplash yet again from the answer we receive, as Chris surprisingly isn't the easiest to predict, mainly referring to the whole bar bussy incident. The last thing I wanted to mention isn't so much anything really related to Chris Chan as such, but on his channel, Quickville Guardian, which he has not had control of for a long time now, obviously, a video was uploaded on the 1st of April regarding Chris visiting a park, with the title suggesting this was after his release. This video was an April Fool's joke, as seen by the date, as well as Chris being far too chunky for it to be a modern video. This isn't really anything important, I just wanted to mention it as people I know had fallen for it, so this allows me to indirectly point and laugh at them, as well as point out the fact that an account named Barbara Barbussy commented, "I love you, my son," which is a little bit of a giggle. I'll do this one very, very quickly by talking about King Cobra JFS. I won't cover this one at all, and will instead direct you to one of my other channels, Bite Size Cobra Vids, where January to March have all been recapped already. The link will be in the description below. This is one that'll be another quickie, as we are talking about Blaze the Movie Fan. Quite a long time ago now, on the 14th of November 2021, I released a video on Blaze the Movie Fan, with this leading to me getting in contact with Blaze shortly after. However, recently, on the 23rd of February 2023, Blaze had done a video response to this very video, so I suggest you check it out through the link in the description below. I suggest you watch this because Blaze is a cool guy, and has basically made all that video outdated, as many of his opinions have changed since the release of it. Let's drop the mood a little bit, and talk about someone who I've never really covered in any real detail at all, but I have now done videos on twice to some extent. This man is Cooking with Jack, one of the notoriously bad quote-unquote chefs that I've made videos on this channel. This man, as you might be able to tell by the food he creates, and simply just through his look, recently revealed on his channel that he has had a stroke, which has simply left him a bit, stroked out for a lack of better term. but he has mentioned that he can't see at the minute, as well as making a compilation about his recovery, which in my opinion is a little bit weird, but oh well, if it works, it works.
All right, time to clear the air. Finally back home. I'm still at the nursing home at night so they can watch over me, but my wife checked me out today and brought me home. So I thought I'd do this little snippet. I feel like I've been dead for 2 months, but that's beside the point. So my vision's a little blurry. It looks like I can see you, but I can't. Right here, big pressure. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's I don't know, an earache or a sinus pressure or something. And the pressure gets intense, and then it fills up my ear, and then goes up my head and down my neck. And I'm like, okay, this ain't allergies, this ain't sinuses, this is something more serious. I think I'm having a stroke. I've never had one awake before. This is the first time ever. So I finally, not that it's some amazing feat, but I finally felt what a stroke felt like, and it was not fun. So I guess this is the start of documenting my my rehab. So I'm at the hospital. I'm on level 3. It's a program, like an award-winning program here in Tennessee at Skyline Hospital. And they basically, it's like boot camp. They come in early, they wake you up, like they'll be in a few minutes. It's like 6:30 in the morning, but they'll wake me up, they'll feed me breakfast. Excuse me. So one of the signs of my stroke are hiccups. So it's going to be very hard to film. So we're going to work through that. You're going to hear hiccups the whole time I'm talking. So bear with me. This is day 2.
Let's continue with this morbidity and further it through talking about Dayton Hypernova, as he has had quite an eventful time since I last covered him. Dayton's father, Gerald Schultz, passed away from colon cancer on February the 14th, 2023. Dayton obviously hasn't changed his ways whatsoever, other than being sympathetic for about 2 whole seconds. Dayton, for some reason, really wanted to go with someone else to the funeral, and obviously because he has no friends, he didn't find anyone to go with. As a result of this, he decided not to go to his own father's funeral and instead decided to go to a bar, rather than honouring his father's memory and supporting his family through this tough time, especially considering it hasn't really been that long since his brother Sherman's passing. Yet again, Dayton continues not to be different and still doesn't really have a new target of hatred due to Sherman being dead.
Mom, you are not the person that has the authority in the situation. You need to respect that. No, you are not.
I'm in charge.
No, you are not. Lawyers are always in charge.
Well, then get yourself one.
That lawyers are already in charge, and you are going to be observing that. Mom, that's not a that is not a future.
I am going to tell you, if you want to do something, you'll have to get a lawyer.
Lawyers are already involved.
Really?
I was beaten in front of you. Mom, I was beat.
Sick.
Mom,
You're
no,
sick.
no. The person sitting right here in the car next to you was not sick during the beatings. I was perfectly well.
Things are going to change.
No, Mom, it's going to be a bad thing if they do. You need to pray to the God that took all that was good in our lives. Dad was a decent person, and he went to a good place. He had a conscience. So the person who's sitting right next to me, who's exploiting any pain in her life about that, to turn it into something where she can turn it against people around her, that person seriously has a problem. That is an illness.
I'm so happy that this is all going to change.
Mom, that's where you park. No one was in your way is what you're saying. No one was in your way. No one was in your way.
Inside.
No, Mom, no one was in your way.
You said, oh, I have to go out.
It was cold as fuck outside.
Then don't go. Don't
What
go.
is wrong with you?
Stay home.
Mom, not that cold when I left, and it was that cold when you picked me up. That should be understandable. No, you do not act like a belligerent asshole to the person who is being decent in that situation. I have gone 7 years without talking about Sherman beating the shit out of me regularly.
Oh, I feel
no, it's gonna be on
sorry
record if you.
for you.
Good.
So sorry
Good.
for somebody who thinks they got beat up.
I got beaten. It's on
but
record.
the person, well, you know,
Mom,
what did they say when you
whatever
went
you
to
say
the
right now is
hospital?
on record.
Oh, it was his toe. His toe.
What are you talking about? You're talking about the second
His
beating.
toe.
Yes. What about every other beating
His
after that?
toe.
Mom, I got beat year after year after year.
Police will be glad to take you to the hospital.
No, it doesn't
anytime
matter. The
you
police
wanna
won't have
go.
anything to say to the lawyers. The lawyers will be involved.
Basically, this is just a situation where we'll have to wait and see what will happen to him once his mother passes away. Kinda like Christian, because he's basically out of people in his life due to his other siblings not being as close to him as Sherman was. Let's keep the tone low, really low, hopefully for the final time. As you may know, Ethan Ralph has 2 children, and whilst he has basically forgot about his oldest child, Xander, he hasn't forgot about his youngest child, Rosie. Well, mostly because they live in the same house together in Mexico with Pantsu. Now, living as a baby in a house where one of the primary caregivers is an alcoholic who abuses substances is already a bad situation. But it got worse when on Rosie's first birthday, Ethan showed pics of her seemingly celebrating her birthday where it's evident that she has bruises all over her arm, which I obviously can't show. So sadly, as we all know, this is an awful situation for Rosie, and hopefully things improve for her, although sadly, I really do doubt it. Let's try to quickly move on to a topic with a bit more joy by moving on to Daniel Larson. Since the craziness where he had alleged he had been attacked at a hotel, Daniel Larson did essentially the normal Daniel Larson things, dining and dashing and trespassing. Although what made this even spicier was that he decided to do this in multiple places throughout the United States, going through California, Vegas, Arizona, Texas, and now for the moment New York, specifically New York City. What may possibly be interesting was when Daniel went missing twice within the span of a month, which is impressive considering how much attention is constantly on him. The very first time was on February 16th, which also coincided with the deletion of the Daniel Larson subreddit, leading to a lot of confusion as to what happened to him and where he was. This would only last a week, as Daniel would soon come back, stating that things had not been so good for him.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Larson. If anyone is wondering what happened to me the last couple of days, there's been a bunch of videos that came out on YouTube about Daniel Larson went missing. There was also a couple other things that happened. There was the Daniel Larson subreddit got taken down or put into the mods or whatever is doing something with it. Who knows? I don't care about that. What really actually happened was a couple days ago, last week, I got attacked. Somebody walked up behind me, and I was inside a casino. They offered to buy me some food, which they ended up doing. And shortly later, when they were offering to buy me a motel room at one of the casinos, as we were walking to the casino, one of the guys came up behind me, punched me, threw me on the ground, and then basically took my phone and ran off running. With me on the ground, with my head basically smashed into the ground. I did end up going to the emergency room. I did find out I did have a small fracture in my skull, which will take up to 6 months to fully heal. And I did end up contacting the authorities, and I did press charges on both of the people that were there. One of them was a person in longer hair, African American. person, not to be racist or anything like that, but was kind of taller, African American with dreadlocks. And then there was a small Hispanic person, male, that was what I think to be the attacker that took the phone. They did buy me food, which is kind of weird for an attack, but whatever. And they did also get me some clothing as well before the attack happened.
The second time he disappeared would end up being longer, with this time lasting around 2 weeks, and apparently with him being in a mental hospital. However, I would remember to take Daniel's words with a grain of salt.
Because of the attack that happened 2 weeks ago, I am now lifetime banned from the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas due to the attack. I am okay. I got out today after 2.5 weeks from the mental health hospital in Las Vegas. The psychiatric doctor at the Las Vegas mental health hospital didn't want to release me because of my YouTube and social media presence. They said that it was ugly. The mental health hospital tried to kill my career, and that is not going to stand. I'm sorry, but it's not okay to judge people for their social media presence.
So one thing I didn't really expect to see is Wings of Redemption actually doing something other than just streaming himself gaming, but maybe I'll get onto that a bit later. Wings of Redemption is seemingly going to do some kind of boxing match with Boogie2988. Now, obviously, none of us expect this to be some high-octane fighting. They're both clearly not quite in a fighting shape to do that, especially with how they're both training. Boogie's main form of training has been through punching a punching bag with basically no form being practiced, but at least it's some form of exercise which will definitely help him. Now, I don't know if this is a bit or I'm just completely missing something. I'm sure I am, but I think it may be funnier this way, and that is that Wings' form of training has been through just getting hit in the face. There has been literally no mention that I can be asked to look for of him doing anything else but this, including a video of him just getting hit in the face.
Boogie, I seen you fucking fight, dog. Everybody's seen you fight. There's 1 million views on your fight. You gonna knock me out one try? Watch this. Dog, I get punched in the face every day for the last 3 weeks. Bring you a motherfucking bag lunch.
Now, I've heard people have their doubts about Wings actually doing the whole thing in the first place, considering the whole survival trip scandal he backed out of at the last minute with the PKA boys. So, will he actually do it? Well, normally I don't like to take bets on these matters because they normally always go the way you least expect with Lolcows, but I honestly don't think he'll do it as he comes off as really anxious to me, so doing this would be way too stressful for him. But obviously I really hope this happens. It'll be weirdly good for the both of them to get some good PR for once by both turning up and taking part in this event, so we'll have to wait and see for it to hopefully come into fruition. Keeping it on the topic of fighting, remember the first creator clash by iDubbbz and Denisa? Yeah, I barely do either. This isn't even a bit, I literally couldn't tell you a single thing that happened, except a little bit of a correction, and that was actually a little bit of praise, as the event was for charity, so that was good of them, unironically. The event was still shit though. Despite this event being god awful, the two of them have since decided to do a second one. One of these fights consisted of Chris Raygun, who's quite a well-known YouTuber, and shares a bit of a funny history with Anissa, as those of you who follow her likely know, as well as someone called Froggy Fresh. Now, as a quick aside, I didn't know who this was at all, but as I looked it up, he's the fucking guy in the Krispy Kreme wrap from like 10 years ago who's snotting all over himself. Which, I mean, personally I think it's a little bit of a weird matchup with Chris Raygun, but whatever. Recently, Froggy Fresh was kicked from the second Creator Clash after posting pictures of him training with Sam Hyde, the duo's arch enemy, for some reason, as well as joking that if he lost a fight, he would subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans. This has resulted in both iDubbbz and Anissa threatening legal action over the situation, which I don't think will happen, but it's a little bit over the top nonetheless. So, obviously this whole thing was brought way out of proportion for essentially nothing. In its essence, a man trained for a boxing match he was going to have and bantered, which is again another thing that happens, especially in this stupid YouTube boxing thing as it builds up hype.
What's up everybody, it's your boy Froggy Fresh. You might have heard the news recently that I gotten kicked out of Creator Clash. I don't even really know why because they haven't told me yet. But my guesses are either because I said I was going to subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans if I didn't beat Chris up, or I went to train with Sam Hyde, who is E-Dubs' worst nightmare, basically. So, anyways, then I got a letter from Creator Clash saying that they was going to sue me if I didn't shut up about it. Well, I was thinking we can just sell it the old way because I have a big problems shutting up. So, a lot of times I can't shut up, I'm going to get sued. I was just thinking we can sell it the old-fashioned way. Me and E-Dubs do a cage match, an MMA match with none of them padded helmets or knee pads or the special things. Now, I'm 5'2", 135 pounds. E-Dubs is 6'1", 168 pounds. Now, I'm pretty confident I could probably bulk up to about 155 pounds of solid muscle. And I'm pretty sure E-Dubs could cut down to like 160 or so. And I'm pretty sure that I could probably drag him around the ring like a stuffed animal. Now, if I win, E-Dubs and Creator Clash has to promise not to sue me for hanging out and training with Sam Hyde or for saying I would subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans or whatever else they want to conjure up. But if E-Dubs wins, then I promise to never subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans. Ball's in your court, E-Dubs. Let's do it for charity, guys.
So, what is this going to do for the Creator Clash? Well, this is actually strangely going to have a mixed response to it. I'm going to be honest, I didn't have a clue the second Creator Clash was going to happen, and I'm sure this is the same for many other people too, so I'm sure this will have built up some hype for it. However, on the opposite side, this has obviously deflated some hype for the people who have actually bothered to follow this, as all that build up for that fight, which I believe is going to be one of the biggest fights, is just completely gone, only a couple weeks before the event is actually going to happen. Well, we'll just have to see what happens. But I can tell you what, I definitely won't be watching this shit. Let's talk about one more fight, and this is one I'm sure you've all heard of in quite a lot of detail, and that's because it's actually something different that happened with Cyrex. In early March, Marty came to Akron, Ohio, and came to visit Cyrex. Cyrex would soon scamper along, approaching and possibly attacking Marty, leading to an altercation between the two. Now, you may have noticed that Cyrex is a tiny deformed man, and whilst he has boasted about his speed before in hypotheticals about fighting Marty, this did not come into fruition at all, and Cyrex was easily beaten by someone twice his size. Sadly, this is all that has happened with Cyrex. He stated he was leaving as usual and then didn't, so that's pretty much it with him. He's doing the same things over and over and over, and you get it. Sadly, we must end on a very sad note by talking about our favourite person, Marshall Mathers IV. Now, as many of you may know by now, but may need reiterating, me and Marshall are on very good terms now. However, the persistent trolling by many of his enemies, such as P-Brick, has led Marshall to want to give up on YouTube and leave the platform forever. This has been very evident by his lack of community posts and videos, which, as we all know from Marshall, are very consistent and common based on all sorts of different topics, although mainly focusing on women he wants to sleep with. Although sadly, on the 5th of April 2023, Marshall uploaded the video, my last video, I'm quitting on YouTube, where he would give us the sad news.
Hey guys, it's the Blackfield Joker here. I just wanted to make this last video. Now, originally, I wasn't even going to bother to make any more videos at all or even community posts, but I promise all of you this will be my last and final YouTube video. And after this, I'm done with YouTube, you know, not like completely. I'm still going to be using this platform because obviously I enjoy watching videos on it and like listening to music and shit like that. So obviously I'm still going to use this platform. I mean, I feel like I should at least let all of you, my friends, know, and I guess even trolls too, since obviously you fuckers will watch this video anyway, no matter what I say. I mean, there is never going to come a day where you know, coward ass trolls will never not watch any of my videos or read any of my community posts or be just stalking my fucking Instagram account like some fucking hawks or vultures or some shit like that. I'm just done with YouTube. I've had it with YouTube as far as making videos and community posts. I've had as much as I can take and handle. You know, I can't deal with all this shit. I really cannot. And I just at least hope, even when it comes to you trolls, I hope you understand that. And honestly, I hope you're happy. I really do. I hope you all are happy. Pebrick, you know, Blazing 420, Marshall Mathers the 7th, Royal on Air, Swain the Animator, Mortal Kombat. I hope all you pussies are happy. Like, seriously. I hope you're all happy because you all pretty much got exactly what you wanted. You all pretty much got your damn wish by pretty much, you know, kicking me off YouTube for the most part, just pushing me to the point, you know, of no return, to where I just couldn't take it or handle it anymore, to where I just said to myself, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out of here. And that's why I'm so disappointed in myself. Because, you know, my information is doxed on the internet. People know what my real name is. They know what my real first and last name is. They know my address. Well, it's actually my parents' address. See, that's the thing that even is more heartbreaking. Because, you know, my parents' address is not my address. It's my parents' address. I just live with them. And they have been, you know, so good to me and patient with me that they have allowed me to still live with them even as an adult. And I appreciate that. I really do. And I am extremely grateful for that, because obviously most parents would not put up with me in the world, you know, especially in America, a country that, you know, is very big on, you know, kicking your kids out at 18. You know, and I'm honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm honestly even debating on whether or not I'm even going to keep my YouTube channel. I'm honestly thinking about and considering deleting it entirely, which would make me sad, because regardless of the way you look at my YouTube channel, even as, you know, you my trolls that I hate to death, even you cannot deny the fact that I haven't put a lot of fucking effort into my YouTube channel over the years. Even if you love to hate me and enjoy to mock and make fun of me and to just make literally a big joke out of who I am and, you know, what I represent and, you know, my ideology and my opinions and my beliefs and all that, you know.
So sadly, this is the end of Marshall content, and truly a sad day for YouTube and the content I so love. Or is it? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As I mentioned earlier, I'll look to make around 3 of these a year in order to allow for more Lolcow information to accumulate in order to make these videos interesting and not just feel forced, so you actually get important things you'd likely want to know. In the description below you can find my second channel, where there are stream archives of my Friday streams. My streams are every Friday, as well as the occasional Saturday at around 11 o'clock British summertime or something like 5 o'clock in the States. I don't know, I can't be asked to work it out for all of you. If you want to watch it, you'll work it out. But once again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.